What's up, guys? How's everyone doing? A little bit of a late start for me today. So we are just getting cracking right now. Got a lot to talk about. We got fights starting in less than 24 hours. We have the Puerto Rican card. It streams 12:30 p.m. here in Sydney. That's Thursday night, you guys. It is 8:15 a.m. Thursday, so a little bit over 24 hours. There's a lot to talk about. There's that card. There's the card in the UK. I've uploaded a couple different Stats Don't Lie videos. My breakdown prediction on the Pagan versus Malik Montgomery fight. I gave you my prediction on Joe Parker versus Fabio Wardley. That's coming up. I'm uploading another video after this live stream. I'm going to break down a couple more fights on cards. We're going to leave the chat open and whatever you guys want to talk about. I do want to start with shout out to High Interest. We brought High Interest on the live stream yesterday. Guys, all of you Johnny Says Boxing insiders who have access to our Discord, every live stream, you guys have the ability to come on and talk about it. So I do these live streams every day. If you guys are new, about 30 minutes in, that's when I'll open up the stage to anybody who is a VIP who has access to my Discord to come on screen with me and we could talk. So yesterday we brought on High Interest. Boxing Fan came on. Boxing Fan came to talk a little bit about why he chooses to do round robin betting. And High Interest, we were just talking about the fight. So that offer is always on the table every live stream. And what we're going to do today is start off with some weigh-ins. The weigh-ins for Puerto Rico just went down. Also, one more thing. To join the Discord, guys, that link is pinned in the comment section below. High Interest, we appreciate you. DJ Green, what's cracking, DJ? The boys are tapping in. As you guys are tapping in, tell me what's up. Give a thumbs up. Kind of dust your feet off when you step in and just like the video. However you can support the channel, either like it, subscribe, come to the Discord. The Discord, I'll go over what's new in there in a little bit. I want to talk about the weigh-ins first. So we had a couple stare downs. So we'll get there in a second. Here, what do you got? So I did the poll. I'll bring up the poll results. Parker Wardley, pretty interesting results. Who you guys think is going to win? This video is up on my channel. My breakdown of Parker versus Wardley. This was the stare down the other day. This is an Aussie fight I'm going to talk about later. That's Paul Fleming versus Jake Wiley. Aussies should know who Paul Fleming is. Stud. Americans should know Paul Fleming. Fleming's only blemish was to Charlie Suarez. And we know after we saw the Suarez versus Navarrete fight, Suarez is the real deal. Paul Fleming took a couple years off after that Suarez. Fleming was winning the whole fight, by the way. Was up on all the cards, and Suarez stopped him in the 12th. So I'm interested to see what Paul Fleming we get. Okay, I'll come back. I want to pull up. All right, the NBA. You guys know I'm an Ohio boy, so the NBA starts today. Cleveland in the house. This is what I want to talk about. Let's check this out real quick. See if we can get some weigh-in results. So this is an interesting fight. This is a fight we broke down, 50-50 fight on paper. The odds literally have it cut in half. That is JJ. So Joshua versus Pagan versus Malik Montgomery on the right. They both weighed in. Guys, this fight's at 135. Keep that in mind. And this is an interesting thing I brought up in my breakdown, is that on paper, it says that Malik is only an inch shorter than Pagan. I mean, Pagan looks 2.5 inches taller than Malik Montgomery. You guys also don't get honey-dicked by the knockout-to-win ratio. This is what I told the boys. A lot of money is coming in on Montgomery because they're looking at that record. I think 21-1, 18 knockouts. But Montgomery, a lot of his knockouts come and have come against very low-level opponents. Neither guy's resume is jumping off of the paper. Fights in Puerto Rico, Pagan's the A side. Montgomery, both guys were amateur champions. Montgomery, you know, as of recently, I told you guys, been sparring with Brian Norman Jr. He is from Georgia. Pagan is a Michigan guy, Puerto Rican roots. This card was built around him, Salida Promotions. This fight's at 135. One more thing about this before I show the odds is that Montgomery's coming off a loss. First loss of his career. That loss was at 130. Montgomery has fought recently down at 126 before. Pagan has fought in the last few years at 147. This fight's at 35. It's for the vacant WBO NABF strap. To the casuals, that belt probably means nothing. But for boxing fans, a lot of the people on this chat, you guys know it's kind of a pecking order belt. You get to this fight, you win this belt, and you move on. And especially if you have world title aspirations, in press leading up to this, Montgomery was talking about how that he actually wanted to fight Jeremy Hill and get his get back. Hill is the guy he lost to, and he didn't think he would get this opportunity. And he said this opportunity to fight Pagan in Puerto Rico is a blessing. So you gotta expect Montgomery's best form. Like I said, he is coming off of a loss, and we're gonna take a look at those odds right now. And if you guys are betting Bet365 and you're in Australia like myself, this is the betting app that I'm going to use from here on out, only because Sportsbet, your parlay will get screwed if you have a draw. We know in the last 6 months we've seen a lot of draws as of late. In America, a lot in the betting apps, if you have a parlay and there's a draw, that fight itself just gets void, and then the parlay stays active. Now, the sports betting app, the draw ruins it. Bet365, which is offered here in Australia, the draw does not void the ticket. It just voids the fights. This is the app that I suggest if you're in Australia. And these are the current odds for Pagan versus Montgomery. I did my breakdown. I told you guys where I'm putting my money. Right now, for all the ones who might have questions on what these odds mean, $100 on Pagan on the money line gets you your money back, plus $76. Montgomery on the money line gets your money back. 100 in gets you 100 out. 1-1. Good odds. Now, let's look at the method of victory. If you guys have done your film study, if you've done your due diligence, you would know about Pagan's style. Pagan fights like he's Roberto Duran. He has that mindset. He has that pressure. He has that front foot aggressive style. But the thing about Pagan is he doesn't have punching power. He's lacking a very integral component. Call it sort of, you could call it a skill, but you know, punching power is one of these things that you either have or you don't. You could work on your power, but it's hard to explain how some guys could crack and some guys can't. Now, Pagan fights like he could crack, and he's up for it. And this is no shade on Pagan. 13-0, 4 knockouts. The interesting thing to that comment, though, is when you look at Montgomery's record, he has 18 knockouts, but the same, you wouldn't really, on paper, you would call him a knockout artist, but he doesn't have one-punch knockout power. It's interesting. It's an interesting matchup. I'm interested to see where you guys are going. Adu, what's cracking? I'm going to take some of your questions real quick. So everybody who has the stars by their name, guys, so the chat knows, these are Johnny says, insiders, they're in the Discord. So I'm going to highlight their questions first. I think many people on here, including me, overthinking the Parker fight. Parker inside 6. Let's not pretend there isn't a gulf in class. Yeah, a gap in class between the two. So I'm not overthinking my pick. I'm not overthinking my pick. I got you know who I got. I'm gonna get there in a second. Damn, the boys are tapping in. Tommy S, what's cracking? Gasville in the house. Steve Jones. Steve Jones, it's hard to find boxing predictions. Yeah, we appreciate your subscribing. Steve, I'm gonna highlight this because you're new to the channel. We say welcome, hit subscribe. Hopefully you like what you see. Guys, these are my live streams, but if you want my edited, produced, filmed video series in which you get my predictions from a non-live perspective, go to my playlist called Fight Predictions and click on the video Stats Don't Lie. Receipts are up. My wins are there. My losses are there. Those will date back all the way to last year. Boys, what's up, EV? Mateo's cracking. What's up, nephew? So follow Mike TV. Mike TV got a pro box. Mike got a fight coming up. So we got pro fighters in the house. Mike is a 10-0 pro fighting out of the UK. He has a fight coming up. Follow him on YouTube and follow him on social media. And Mike, if you want to come on in about 20 minutes, I'll bring you on. The link is in the Discord, and we can talk about your upcoming fight. We can talk about what you see this weekend. It'd be good to get your perspective about Wardley versus Parker, that sort of thing. Steve Jones, Youngstown, baby. I grew up in Smoky Hollow, mate. So a lot of people, my first 14 years of life was on the north side of Youngstown. The neighborhood I grew up in called Smoky Hollow, it still exists, but the local university, Youngstown State, I guess they bought that land, all the houses, and it's like part of the campus now. But the MVR Club, I hope, is still there. The MVR Club was my favorite restaurant. That's still in Smoky Hollow. Montgomery is one-dimensional. I think the safest bet, one knockdown. So Gassville. Shout out to Gassville. We've been going back and forth on Insta. So this comment here is in reference to Parker versus Wardley. What you don't see is his first statement. He says, I think the safest bet for Parker versus Wardley will be one knockdown minus 270. Let's bring those odds up. I'm interested to see what Bet365 is showing us. Yeah, a couple of the guys on the chat have a lot of success with knockdown props. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I do. The last time I hit and played a knockdown prop was actually Naoya Inoue versus Ramon Cardenas. I actually picked Inoue to get knocked down at 16-1. But my style is generally, I like sharping. I like finding, underdogs, looking for dogs to bet on. And I like doing parlays. But the knockdown, let's look at these odds real quick. So you're saying anyone to be knocked down, 270. Wow, Bet365 gives you so many options for knockdown props. Total knockdowns over under. So you're saying one or more knockdowns. So you're saying just one knockdown. One or more knockdowns, $1.36. So this is a prop. Is that a standalone bet? $100 gets you your money back plus $36. That just shows you all the money coming in on this prop. Money for value. I don't think anybody would be putting 10 grand on this bet. Maybe. So what are you going to do with this, Gaspo? You're going to put this on a little parlay, a little prop parlay. How you feeling on that? The chat is warming up. Let's bring DJ on real quick. I like Quartermain for the a lot of questions about this fight. Well, that's loading. Let's finish. So I want to go back to Gasville since we have it up. Now you mix that two leg, like I said, that's money. Tom Aspinall, double chance knockout. Okay, so now you're mixing. So Gasville is going to be mixing MMA, UFC with boxing. All right, that's interesting. I usually keep them separated, but hey, there's money to be made. That's not a bad shot. So Tom Aspinall, double chance knockout or points. Maybe Umar sub. Huh. Interesting. I want to bring up the Quartermain question because when we start talking upsets, that's kind of now we're speaking my language. Man, Royston Barney Smith could fight though, man. The odds are kind of crazy. The odds are kind of crazy on this fight, but let's look at Quartermain first. 13-0, 4 knockouts. Second guy with that same record, right? This 13-0 with 4 knockouts, same exact record that Joshua Pagan has. Undefeated guy, 13-0. He's a super feather. We last saw him fight Duran in June, so he's active. This would be his, just a second fight. He's a dog here, so I want to see the odds in a second. But guys, don't sleep on Royce and Barney Smith, mate. This kid could box. This isn't, and I think this is why the odds are what they are. Damn, the streaming, the uh, the connection here is acting real suspect. So Royce and Barney Smith, 14-0, 7 knockouts. So this is the favorite, and we're going to pull it up in a second. So DJ, why do you like Quartermain for the upset? You think he's going to outbox him? Do you think that he's just? So, here's his answer. I love his fight style, just a little wild sometimes. Anybody here tape Royce and Barney Smith? Maybe I could do. I'm going to look at the odds. Maybe I'll do this fight. It's a 10-rounder. Dude, two undefeated kids, 10-rounder, both kind of floating around that box rec algorithm and the around the one's 95, one's 110. Definitely prospects. And we'll take a look at the odds in a second. So yeah, both guys haven't been that active. They fought on the same card a couple times. I mean, Quartermain drew against Jack Bateson. We've covered Bateson on the channel before. On that same card, Barney Smith beat Andres Navarrete. And then, yeah, this is both guys, their second fight this year. Let's see. Bet365's website's acting up, so I'm gonna use Sportsbet. Wow. All right. So DJ's thinking an upset here. Quartermain is, 100 on him on the money line, gets you, a little bit more than a 5-1 dog. Smith is a massive favorite. I mean, is the juice even worth the squeeze if you're playing the favorite here? So DJ, are you going standalone? You're taking Quartermain on the upset. I'd have to do the tape. I can't really. I've seen both guys fight. I'm interested on maybe reading about how fight week went, understanding a little bit more why the odds are coming in so heavy on Barney Smith. Anybody tape these guys? Follow Mike TV. I found the same card as Quartermain. He's good, but he's short, and Barney is more polished, and Barney should have Davison in his corner, Ben Davison. There you go. So, Mike, you're getting a pro boxer, his perspective here, and, anything can happen. Lord Hernandez, Cigar, as always, I'm here. PH, the condition. Yeah, Casamaro's fighting. Every time Casamaro fights, man, we know about how popular he is in his home country. Let's see, Casamaro. Isn't he fighting Magneso? Wow, Luis Neri's fighting this weekend. Tateron's fighting this weekend. Bakary Samaki's fighting. There's some good fights. There's a lot of decent matchups. A couple of really big favorites. Oh, Kameda. So there's a couple Kameda brothers, right? And this is the Kameda. We've seen Kameda get stopped before. This is an interesting fight. Casamaro versus Kameda. Anybody taking the dog here? Does anybody like Kameda here? Let me pull him up real quick. I was looking at this fight last night. So there's Tomoki Kameda and Suke Kameda. Yeah, so this is the dog. It's almost 50-50 on paper, though. So this is the kid Casamaro's fighting 15-5, 2 draws. We've seen him get knocked out recently, though. Yeah, it was Luis Neri. We covered the Neri fight on the channel. He also is coming off of a loss against Picasso, and we know about David Picasso as well. This is interesting because we'll take a look at Casamaro's resume here in a second. Yeah, this is a tough fight. He hasn't won a fight since 2024. a first round knockout against a guy, Angelo Beltran. He's a puncher, but he's gonna get he's there to get hit. That Japanese style. Live by the sword, die by the sword. And I mean, when you look at Casemiro's experience, anybody taking Kameda here? Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say with sure certainty that I'm going to take Kameda here. You know what I'm saying? He's been stopped recently. He's been stopped multiple times. These odds are interesting, though. Danny Q's had some decent fights. Royce Smith. What we're gonna do now is let's transition a little bit. I want to take a close. I want to take a look at the footage that they dropped of Wardley and Parker. So this is them staring down. Now, on paper, everybody was talking about all week that Wardley was the bigger guy. We know that, even on their sort of box rec, when you look at the measurements, it says Wardley has a 3-inch reach advantage. They have Wardley, I think, at 79-inch reach and Parker 76. And then Wardley, I think, is listed at 6'5", Parker 6'4". They kind of, I mean, they kind of look even. I don't think either one of those things will come into play. I do like Wardley's jab, though, when he's popping it out there. He's flicky with it. He uses it. He doesn't use it to be defensive minded, though. He obviously uses it to set up his backhand. Now, I'm going to play you guys a highlight that I think Queensberry or DAZN was sharing. It's the knockout highlight when Wardley fought Fraser Clark the second time. We know they fought the first time, and Wardley had to overcome, I think, a broken nose or broken bone somewhere near here, and it was a draw. And then the second time he got Fraser Clark out of there early. But it's in the exchange, and I want to pose a question here because Fraser Clark lands as clean as an uppercut as you're going to land. And I want to pose a question right here. If Joe Parker lands these shots this clean, watch this uppercut Fraser lands right off that one, right there. That was Wardley eating it. Now he frames, kind of illegal. You could call that illegal. Pushes off, big left hook, the right one. He's hurt on wobbly legs. Boom, and he finishes the show there. But my question though is it in that initial exchange? Fraser gets off, lands a beautiful, beautiful clean uppercut. Now, I reference that because Justice wasn't a big puncher. Justice Hooney, for all of his boxing abilities, Joe Parker's a better boxer than Hooney. Joe Parker has more power than Hooney. Joe Parker, is world level. Former world champion, had the world title for 2 years. There's questions that have to be asked on both sides of the fence, though. How much credence do you take the Joe Parker versus Bacoli knockout? Bacoli stepped in on 48 hours notice, basically to save the card, and gets knocked out in first or second early on a temple shot. And then we're getting a Fabio Wardley who was losing pretty much every exchange against Justice until he wasn't. So it's going to be interesting. This is where the boys are torn at in the Discord. I'm going to bring up the Discord conversation, and this is where we're approaching 30 minutes. I want to give a shout out to he's my guy Gil. So we now have a moderator. Who would have thought? Guys, 3 months ago I never even heard of Discord. Okay? 3 months ago I never even heard of Discord. Now, 3 months later, we have a moderator. So shout out to Gil. If Gil's on the live stream, we appreciate you. Gil has set up our Discord now with all these new sections. So we have a study area. So this study area, we have organized every upcoming fight. Now, every upcoming fight has its own thread. And as these fights come and go, we're going to delete these threads. But this is for the bettors now. This is why I tell you, if you guys want to join the Discord, it's a boxing community first, but you have professional bettors in here. It's not just me. I don't have, like, it's my Discord, but so Parker versus Wardley, Pagan versus Montgomery. We have every single fight tab now. Let's go into Parker versus Wardley and see what the boys are saying. So here we go. 3 outcomes. Parker on points. Parker by knockout. So they're doing a poll here. Parker should win tough fight. So then I put these are interesting here. There's 5. So these are the most current Bet365 odds here. The outcomes for Parker Wardley. Parker by knockout $1.90. Parker by decision $3. And then Wardley by knockout $6. Wardley by decision $13. And this is what I was telling the boys. I actually like Parker at $4, the unanimous decision here. I think, I have Parker on the money line, but I think I might play this prop. Unanimous. Okay? I know a lot of people like the knockout prop, Parker to kind of drown Wardley, but this should be mentioned. If you like Parker, I would wait to put your bet in, only because as we get closer to fight night, the average bettor, the average guy who wants to get action, is going to their betting apps and they're going to see these odds. They're going to see Fabio at $6, Fabio at $13, Fabio at $15, and they're going to be loading up on Fabio just for the odds. That and then the knowledge of Fabio having one-punch knockout power. If you want Wardley in any outcome, I would put your bet in now, because as we get closer to fight night, all that money that'll be coming in will make Joe Parker's odds increase the other way. So Parker fans, wait. Wardley fans, put your bet in now. This is a crazy statement. This is a wild Rambler. That's insane. Yeah, call in. Breaking Bad, call in. So guys, this is a new feature to the channel. All the Johnny Says Boxing members, they have a link that they could call in and you could come on the show right now. So Nick, if you're just go into our Discord and then click in the boxing area here. And there's the link. So I'm going to wait. Anybody else in the Discord who wants to call in, feel free to right now. We also launched a film study area here. So now in the film study area, we're going to be doing events. So all the boys could actually watch tape together. What's the most updated? I'm just checking the Discord. The most updated Fabio Wardley. Don't disrespect Wardley like he's better than Berlanga. Okay. I think Parker would easily beat Wardley. Last 5 opponents. Yeah, this is a wild statement. So Rambler thinks that he shot. Are you referring that? I mean, the only way I can make this statement make sense is if you're referring to how Parker has a tendency to come undone. It doesn't mean that he shot, though. I mean, he's only 33. He's only been stopped once, a bit of a head scratching stoppage. But you guys have to remember, mate, this is like in boxing, we got short ass memories. Give me 1 second. So the only way I'm going to agree with you is I think you're convoluting what Joseph Parker looks like when he gets hurt. He comes kind of undone a bit with his technique. And the one thing about Wardley is we've seen him hurt, but this is Wardley's biggest step up. Guys, and you guys are tripping, mate. Joe Joyce. I was talking, I was talking to my guy, Tommy Rainone. Tommy Rainone, he's coming on the show later in the week. He does a show with Paulie Malignaggi. He's a former pro boxer out of New York, solid career. Tommy brought up a good point about this comment. He was saying that people were saying that like he shot in, the knockout loss to Joe Parker, but up until the Zhang fight, people were high on Joe Joyce, man. He was getting compared like this is Tommy Rainone's words. And I'll bring Tommy on to justify. When Joe Joyce was on his run, people were comparing his punching power to George Foreman. He knocked Parker out like that. People were at one time were really, really high on Joe Joyce. And we all know that boxing is a sport of what have you done for me lately? And all of that came undone. But to say that Joe Parker's shot, I think that's a bit of a, I don't know, man. I think it's disrespectful. But, I'm not a gatekeeper. My favorite thing about Rambler is, every time Rambler speaks, it's, he speaks his mind. So I respect it. So I'm going to bring on, this is Breaking Bad Boxing, guys. If you're not following Breaking Bad on YouTube, do it now. He does excellent breakdowns, predictions. Got the Cleveland hat on because you
did that for you, brother.
I see it.
I did that for you because if not, it's only Arizona gear around here. I do love me some Chief Woohoo stuff though. Can't lie.
Got that Chief Wahoo popping. That Chief Wahoo, baby. Let's go.
Okay, now I know. Now I know. Now you know. Good. So I actually wanted to talk about this Wardley Parker fight. I'm dropping my official prediction within the next 2 hours. I keep saying I'm going to, but the tape's finally done, completely done. Shit's been crazy, with midterms and work and things of that nature. So my schedule's a little bit different, but I think I have a little bit of a different thought on this Wardley Parker fight than you, clearly. First of all, I just text Chilltown this not even 2 minutes ago. I think Wardley by points is value. A lot of value, right? And no bet's a good bet if it's a losing bet, right? But sometimes we have to play the numbers game. And you're giving me 13-1. You're hanging 13-1 over my head on Wardley by decision. Someone like Joseph Parker, who of course has been stopped and dropped, but has also stood back up, sturdy legs, sturdy base, and been able to fight through. And someone like Wardley, who I think his conditioning and cardio may be a little bit overblown. I really liked his pace, or his shape, I should say, against Frazier Clark. In the first Frazier Clark fight, rounds 4 through 8, he was clearing Frazier Clark. He had a great solid round 10 and 11, gassed out pretty hard around 12, but then he also finished the round extremely strong in the last 10 seconds too as well. I think to call Joseph Parker, by the way, not world level is absolutely asinine. Still respect you though, Rambler, but I do want to say I agree with this on Rambler. What is my favorite thing to say about some fights, as you know to say, Johnny? As you say all the time, what have you done for me lately? And I always like to say, who have you fought in lately? Who has Joseph Parker fought in? Let's look back on this for a minute here. You have no legs crossing your feet, Deontay Wilder, who just allowed himself to be stuck on the back foot the whole fight trying to find the one shot. Bacoli on 36 hours notice, who Bacoli was landing some shots, mate. In the last 10 seconds of the first round, he landed a shovel right uppercut that really stunned Joseph Parker, and on the inside had a few different moments too as well. The fight before that, I'm sorry, let me go to my notes, y'all. Let me go to my notes. Pen and paper kind of guy here. I know I've just been rambling, Johnny, so feel free to cut me off at any moment, by the way.
No, man, you're good, brother. Keep it going. Bacoli, Zhang, Wilder,
Zhang and Keane. Bang.
Yep,
those are the tapes. I stopped at Simon Keane. I'm not going to lie. I didn't go to tape past that because I'm really big on the what have you done for me lately mantra.
2 years ago. 2 years, mate. Yeah.
It's perfect amount of time to me. Simon Keane had some moments on the inside when it came to inside fighting. Simon Keane's not necessarily a world beater, and he was older himself. And Zhang, man. Zhang had moments. Zhang had so many moments, not even just dropping him, coming forward, winning all 4 of the first 4 rounds pretty clearly, or 3 rounds, I'm sorry, pretty clearly in this opinion. Zhang's just such a gas bag and 42 years old himself. I just think I think Wardley's value, mate. I locked in Wardley already. I was listening to what you were saying, and you were giving the best advice you can gambling-wise. I locked in Wardley for a full unit at plus 325, and then I saw him at 275 today, so I had to lock in another half unit. So I'm locked in for a unit and a half on Wardley, and I won't go in any more on this fight unless it's live betting, just because I got burned so hard against David Allen. But where did Wardley have issues with against Justice Huoney? Justice Huoney had a lot of issues, giving him issues with the athleticism, gliding in and out. Huoney was gliding in and out on him, getting on his outside shoulder and banging with the left hand on the inside, doing all of these things that I don't think Joseph Parker necessarily has the capability of doing. I don't think Joseph Parker has the capability of gliding in and out like someone like Justice Huoney. And one thing about Wardley is I think Joseph Parker by far has the higher ring IQ. I'm giving away my prediction here, by the way, y'all, so you guys don't even have to watch it. I think Joseph Parker has by far the higher ring IQ in this fight. But Fabio Wardley has moments of ring IQ too as well. He kept trying to stop and start on Justice Huoney and throwing the overhand right, and he would get close and graze him, but never actually land it. But then in round 10, he stopped and started when Justice Huoney was trying to glide in on him, and he smashed it. My favorite thing to do when I'm taping fights is I like to go back and watch fights, specific rounds on 2x speed, and then specific moments on half speed. So it's just the way I like to break down different fights, man. And I just think Wardley's grit. I think Wardley, even though he looked sluggish as hell, even though he knocked out Fraser Clark in the second fight, I still think he came out sluggish in that fight. I just like the value on Fabio Wardley. I don't like him past realistically plus 220. Once he gets past 220, because I almost guarantee by fight night he's probably like a plus 200. Once it gets past plus 220, I don't really like the value. But Wardley by decision is hella value, and Wardley money line anything plus 275 and up is incredible value in my personal opinion. So, sorry, y'all. I just gave a huge rambling. My bad, Johnny.
No, dude. What are you talking about? It's just, I'm going to push back on the fact that, saying that Parker can't glide inside and out like Huoney. The thing about Huoney, the biggest difference is with that style is Parker could crack. Parker has power. Huoney doesn't sit on his shot. So if we're going to judge the sliding in and out, you have to add in then as he's sliding in and out, is he punching? Is he sitting on anything? Is he making that movement count? And the thing about Parker is he's gonna slug a little bit wild when he, even in the exchanges of punching, he kind of want to say comes undone. But look at that. Yeah, he's gonna throw bombs. Wardley throws. I think it's gonna be in these exchanges when Parker has the tendency to do this, that he's gonna be susceptible to getting caught. But even though he's been stopped once with 3 losses, been dropped, he's durable. He could take a shot. And we'll see. Like I played earlier before you came on the highlight of Fabio stopping Fraser Clark in their second fight. And I wanted to reference that because in that exchange, when Fraser is up against the ropes, he lands a gorgeous, clean-ass uppercut on Wardley's face. And Wardley just ate it. And my question is, if will he be able to eat Parker's shots like that? Will that? These are questions. These are answers I don't have. But when I look at Wardley's resume, you're talking about who has he fought? What have you done for me lately? I mean, Joe Parker, I think handles Justice Huoney. Not that they would ever fight. I think Joe Parker handles everyone that Fabio has ever been in there with, and I don't expect Parker to make the same mistake that Huoney did if it does go that long, punching with him and keeping his head on the midline, not setting it up. So it is interesting. I like the play you're taking, though. Great value. And that's why I said, mate, if anyone here is high on Wardley, put those bets in now because those odds are crazy. The boys are going to keep seeing that. The money's going to keep pouring on. And what's going to happen
Wardley was a plus 500 2 weeks ago. We missed
that's what
Wardley
I'm saying.
At a plus 500. Like the value has already been steamed to shit, no doubt.
Yeah.
If I could add on to a few of your points, if I may, really quickly here.
Of course.
When it came to Wardley versus Clark too, I want to say in that one round, I felt like Wardley looked incredibly sluggish before he landed that shot specifically. So that's just one thing that I want to note. Even early in that singular fight, there was another thing that I had it locked in my mind. Oh, Zhang versus Parker. Wardley can be reset. That's a big issue I have with Wardley. He resets so often. You hit him with a good stab jab to the body, which we know Joseph Parker loves to throw double jabs and stab jabs to the body. It can reset him plenty of times.
My buddy calls that domesticate him. He thinks that's called when you domesticate a guy, making them sort of like reset, and then over a long period of time of a fight, it changes their. If they don't have a plan B, you've domesticated them.
I think that's where Joseph Parker's great at draining people's gas tank is his feints, his level changes, the way he makes people think, man. I was really impressed going back and watching this tape with Joseph Parker's fight IQ. The other thing I wanted to know is when he got dropped by Zhang the first time, he literally stood there and stared at Zhang and just ate a left hand, which is hilarious because when he got up, he looked at his corner like, damn, this bloke can crack. He didn't even look hurt. He literally got up. That's how you know he has a good chin. He got up and literally was just like, holy hell, this guy can crack. And even the second time when he got dropped, it's almost like he took a knee from overwhelming pressure as compared to just being outright hurt specifically. So I think you make a few great points, but man, I had to lock in Wardley just because I think these fights a little bit closer. If I had to put a proverbial number on it, a proverbial odds on it, I would place Wardley somewhere around a plus 200, plus 220. So how am I not going to take him, like I stated, at the plus 350 and the plus 275? So, and then I had to put a little tiny sprinkle on him by decision. So those are just kind of the things that I want to bring it to, because I think this fight is going back and watching the tape. Man, Frazier Clark versus Wardley 1 was a cracker to watch. What a pleasure of a fight to watch.
And that's the thing. Wardley's a dog, man. He could take a beating. He's up
Doesn't quit on himself.
He never quits on himself. I mean, what guy in the 10th round?
But neither does Parker. They're both dogs.
Exactly. And so this is the beginning of this is that sequence. It's right at the beginning. We missed it. It's going to come on real quick. Watch this clean ass uppercut. Frazier Clark catch right here. Boom, that one. And Wardley just walks right into it, eats it. A lot of guys would have been stopped with that one. He didn't get stopped. Now, Parker loves Parker has a good uppercut. He's definitely, I bet you he's going to go to that punch. He's definitely watched this tape. And people are loving the knockout to win ratio with Wardley, but I think they're underestimating Parker a bit. I really do. I think he's bigger than people think too. We saw it in the stare downs. It is a tough one. I'm not sitting here saying I'm 100% confident. Especially after seeing what happened with Hooney.
It's funny that you brought up the uppercut because in my notes for Parker versus Simon Keene, I ended my notes on baited King into the rear uppercut, round 3, and minute 27 seconds left. Poke, center line, rear uppercut, beginning of the end, finishes him, rear uppercut. So,
and he throws it. It's not one of those sort of like in the pocket, in the clinch, like Mike Tyson has. He throws it at range. He'll throw it to set other things up at distance, and he creates a lot of torque and power with it. It can be timed. It can be timed with a lead hook, and we'll see. He kind of uses it in flurries too. It's a punch that I'm going to be watching to see if he can land it. Also,
I think his rear uppercut's one of his best punches for sure. And he, like you brought up, he pokes with his lead hand to set it up too. He'll trap you and pull you into it, and he throws it on the offensive front foot too as well.
What do you got to read? Are you getting action in Puerto Rico or no?
The way that the lines moved on Malik Montgomery, it makes me need to almost take Pagan. Almost have to take Pagan at this point. And this is also comes down to a theory play too as well. This has happened to me time and time again. When you see a line crash on somebody that's anywhere from a plus 250, holy hell. Give me 1 second, Johnny.
Yeah, it's all good. So boys, what we're talking, I want to answer Latrell. Yeah, Latrell, the link is in the comment section below. It's pinned. To join the Discord, you sign up on YouTube. It's a couple bucks a month. I just had the
funniest moment. That was hilarious. I thought I left the water boiling on my stove, and I forgot I turned it off before we jumped on the Discord.
You just had oh shit.
That was one of those. Wait a minute, something more important is happening. So with the way that so in America, bro, Malik Montgomery was like a 2-to-1 dog. 250 to 1 dog, not even 2 or 3 days ago. It's almost even money now. And
was it that wide there? Because the widest I had seen it was Pagan at 170, Montgomery at 220. It shifted like not maybe 18 cents.
Nah, so check this out. Give me 1 second here. Boxing odds.
Guys, and for those not in the know, this fight is the main event tomorrow in Puerto Rico. Sydney time, 12:30 p.m. America, it's Thursday night. This is a Salido Promotions card. It goes down at 135 pounds. It's for the vacant WBO NABF strap. The winner will then put themselves in line in a couple fights, hopefully for fighting some, title contenders or that sort of thing. So it's an important belt to have.
No, so I was actually wrong. It was actually, you're right. The line was never that wide. It's only came in like 28 cents.
But you're not the first I've heard this from, bro. I've heard in the Discord, and Gary
I'm not
brought
tripping.
it up.
So maybe I have seen on ESPN Bet, but according to boxingodds.io, it was never that wide. But I always thought it was wider when I was looking at odds, just shopping throughout the week.
Yeah, it's been kind of this, a couple cents here and there. But like I said, I heard Gary bring it up on 3D, and some of the boys said the odds shifted, and I'm like, I haven't seen the shift that much. You could kind of see the chart that they put on the far right of our screen. That's the shifting of the odds when they launched. So he started at 179. I guess you're right. They did peak.
Odds have kind of okay.
Yeah,
so
you're
maybe
right.
I'm not tripping.
You can see it. So that he opened it at 170, and then at one time it got to even money.
It's at even money right now. On ESPN Bet, it's minus 110 across the board.
Oh, so go on with your theory. You said a theory bet. You've seen this happen before.
Oh, yes. Oh, my apologies. Yes, dude. So when money comes in on one fighter, I don't know what it is about this here. We see this happen. So who did the same Kanzu? I had a parlay with Kanzu. Give me 1 second so I can look up the exact fighter. Do you remember who Pro Box TV?
Angela Leo? Was it the Leo card?
No, so it was 1 second here. I'm going to pull this up here because Pro Box TV, his name's Yukabov. Do you remember who Yukabov fought?
This would have been like, 4 months ago?
Yeah, Yukabov box rec. I'm looking it up right now because now it's going to bother me. So you had Mohammed Yukabov. He fought William Foster. That's who it was.
Okay.
So this is a good example of this. So we saw Yukabov versus William Foster. You saw an incredible amount of money coming in on William Foster, from William Foster being an almost 2-to-1 dog to where the fight closed as even money, essentially. William Foster lost on a bullshit majority decision. I thought William Foster personally won that fight, but I also had money on it, so I had green goggles for betting that fight here too as well. We see, I have all these examples on my Twitter, so I like being specific about who I'm talking about, so my apologies here.
No worries, brother.
I'm trying to find it here. Seen this
before. Guys, we're floating between 40 and 60 people in the chat. Hit a thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. If you guys are in the Discord, you want to pop on, the link is in there. Yesterday we had Boxing Fan and High Interest on together with myself. This is Nick from Breaking Bad Boxing. Follow him on YouTube, follow him on Twitter and the Gram.
Yeah, give me a follow, y'all. All right, so I can't find, so let me just break down the theory then in this case.
Break it down.
So what will happen is when you have fighters that are anywhere from a 2-to-1 odds, 2.5-to-1 odds dog, and they come down to even money here, that means the public, or that means some sharp bettors are putting a decent amount of money on these guys here, specifically here. But they did not open up as the favorites. So this is where people have it misweighed here. They say the books have them as even money favorites. Well, no, the books have them at almost a 3 to or 4-to-1 favorite here in this case here. So you go back, you do your quick tape here, and if it's a 50 money fight here, there's no value on someone that's no dog if he's an even money fighter. If the books think the other guy's going to win, that means the promotion most likely wants the other guy to win. Why wouldn't I take the guy that's now even money that opened up as a 3-to-1 or a 4-to-1 favorite? At that point, that's just smart betting, and it's hit multiple times. It happened with Mohammed Yukabov, versus William Foster. I can't think of any other examples off the top of my head. So I have to play Pagan. I have to even money.
So Kiza said it happened with Katie. I just kept getting better money on Katie. I was loving it. Probably a Katie Taylor versus
Kiza, my guy. What's up, brother?
Probably one of the Serrano fights. Yeah, so you're saying, so guys, what Nick is saying is strategically, statistically, when the odds are doing that. Now, you're also going to add, I want you to add in the point as well that you're not just going to bet money that you work hard for based on that theory. You do massive amount of film study and tape. Now, I taped this. I put it up on my channel. Did you tape this? Did you do a breakdown?
I didn't do a breakdown. I've been really slacking on breakdowns in general. This week, I'm really only going to be able to get, which is such a shame, just be able to get Parker Wardley out, maybe try to get time for one more. But life's super busy right now. So.
Yeah, my point, and that this is definitely a passion project on my end too. So this is what makes it enjoyable, though, is that neither one of us is forced to do this. We choose to do this. But so what have you? Because I've spoken at nauseum what I've seen and why I'm taking Pagan. And it, the odds aren't. It's not why I picked Pagan, but your point is why. If you haven't seen it, do you have an opinion?
Oh, you have. So at this point here, you're going to have one fighter that's a high volume fighter versus one fighter that's going to cut angles and be far more precise in dimensions in this case here for you. So optically, where do we usually go in this case here? Do you go with the overwhelming volume, or do you have someone that has pinpoints of accuracy and moments? What I didn't like against Malik Montgomery, against Jeremy Hill specifically, and Jeremy Hill's not someone I overly rate too high, is that he was too willing to get inside of these inside firefights and take shots not only on the inside, but what is Pagan some of his best punches? Some of Pagan's best punches are the sweeping left hands, and they're going to be the front side up, the front hand uppercuts. Malik ate so many of those against someone with Jeremy Hill that doesn't have the same snap, in my personal opinion. The one question is here too as well, but the overwhelming volume for Montgomery, I think, is
he averages 100 punches a round.
The overwhelming volume, that he's like such an overwhelming volume kind of fighter that makes it hard for me to want to, that makes it hard, right? So it's like you have precision moments here that you had against Jeremy Hill. Jeremy Hill had all those precision moments.
So the thing I want to let everybody know, if they're going to be betting on this fight, basically what they see off of BoxRec, because what they're going to find if you go to BoxRec right now, and I'll pull it up, I've done it all week. Montgomery has a 90% knockout to win ratio. He's coming off his first loss, but he's not a big puncher. At the low level, guys, this is when you talk about leveling up as you increase your opposition. You have in Malik Montgomery an amateur champion. He has a great pedigree. He's fought Edgar Berlanga in the amateurs, Devin Haney. He spars with Brian Norman Jr. And my point is that volume, that experience on the pro level at the lowest level, that's how he was getting a lot of stoppages, was that volume, 100 punches per round, and he was just drowning guys who weren't on that sort of pedigree. As he stepped up, and he really hasn't stepped up. He was a favorite against Jeremy Hill, and he lost that fight. And this fight also is at 135. In recent fights, we've seen Montgomery fight as low as 126. And Pagan, we've seen him fight as high as 147. This fight's at 35. Now, Pagan, he's not a one-punch guy either. He has a lot of volume. He's aggressive, front-foot fighter. He thinks he's Roberto Duran with his style, but he doesn't have punching power. He's going to be there to get hit. I think it's going to be a size issue, and I think that you mix that in with the politics of the A side. This card's built around the Salido fighter with Pagan. The odds 50-50 as they are right now. I feel that money was shifting because people went to BoxRec and they saw Montgomery's knockout to win ratio. They didn't do the film study, and they're like, oh shit, this kid is a knockout artist, which on paper he is, but that's not his style. And Jeremy Hill, he was supposed to win that fight. So I like Pagan in this fight on the money line. And I like the decision.
Yeah, so
it's a close one.
One thing that I wanted to note too about the actual film, or not film study, I'm sorry. Did you watch the I think it was Ronnie Hilly fight? It was the southpaw, the long southpaw that Pagan fought that just threw. That's all he did.
Ronald Ron. Yeah.
Dude just threw an overwhelming amount of volume. And what did we see Pagan do? Just angle off. Yeah. Every time that he would angle off, step off a shift, he would throw enough of his own volume to get optically up ahead. And one thing about Pagan too is he ends exchanges up. He'll end exchanges, maybe not landing, but throwing more. So that's one thing I do like about Pagan too, as well, is that in the middle of those exchanges, as compared to Montgomery, he's going to throw while entering. He's not necessarily, I don't know if you noticed. Did you notice he doesn't necessarily throw it while exiting?
No, he wants. So what he's a guy who stationary. He wants to sit down on all of his shots, mate. He's not really looking to catch a counter. He's looking to put you on your back foot.
And I think that's going to be an issue here, specifically against Pagan, who I can think fights at better dimensions and levels.
Okay, so you're So you're saying that it's Montgomery's exits.
That's what I'm saying. Montgomery, have you noticed when he's exiting? So, for example, when Montgomery's entering, and he's exchanging is when he's going to throw. But when he's exiting and leaving the pocket or leaving these exchanges, he doesn't throw when he's leaving these exchanges. As compared to Pagan, specifically.
Exiting naked. Yeah.
Exiting naked. See, you gave me a new piece of my vocabulary.
That's what you would call it. He exits naked.
That. Yeah. So, I don't know. I just think here with the theory played into it, you brought up the A side, which I think is huge in anything boxing, especially lower level boxing.
Yep.
Like,
You have to talk about it.
We saw Mirko Quello get fucking, was it Mirko Quello not Mirko Quello, who got hoed against Padastri or whatever his name was, the Thai fighter that kept throwing his hands up at the end of the round.
Yeah.
Again, politics, bro.
We see it all the time. Or even in Mexico, I think it was Rene Galando. This would have been like 4 months ago. He was like an 8-1 dog. He lost every goddamn round. He had just got knocked out in March. He fights in May against a kid from Tijuana, and the fight's in TJ, and he loses every single round. And Galazzo, and they gave it to him. It was insane. But you have to mention it. You have to mention the A side, B side on these sort of local promotions. Salito, who the Salito fighter is, especially if you're betting money on it. I'm not saying to make your bet based on it, but when you add in all of the things into your bucket, it should be a variable that you speak about.
And sometimes it comes down to playing a numbers game. What do you have as perceived value? PJ, what's up, mate? Hope you're doing well, brother.
PJ.
What do you have as perceived value, right? I think perceived value is important when it comes to gambling. And that's not betting with your heart. That's betting with your mind at that point. If you see someone that you find is value as a good dog, why would you not play that dog even at a stab? I'm not saying go heavy on it, but put a little unit on it, a little half unit on something you feel good about. This isn't a heavy play I'm going to be on here specifically. I have a half unit on. I'm going to put a half unit on Pagan by decision. I think this fight goes to decision at a very high clip specifically. It's only a 10-rounder too as well, if I'm not mistaken. So I think at plus 145 on ESPN Bet, I'm sure I can odd shop that too and find by decision a little bit better too as well.
Have you seen, because one of the things I do when the book drops, I always look at all the fights and I try to see with a sharp eye, what can I see an upset coming in at? What the best opportunity for somebody where the odds might be shifting? Have you seen any fights either tomorrow or through the weekend that you feel the dog is live, excluding Wardley, because we already covered Wardley. We know he's a big dog and a lot of money's coming in on him.
I have one that I love.
Talk about it. Is it Lozado versus Parker?
Nah, nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Who is it?
It's Kamita's gonna beat the shit out of Casimiro. Kamita is gonna finish Casimiro.
You think he's gonna stop him?
He stops him. He stops him. I was impressed with Kamita's performance against Picasso, yo.
Okay, but he lost the Picasso. This isn't the other brother. This is the one who's 5 losses, been stopped recently.
Wait. This is the different Kamita?
Well, there's 2 Kametas. There's Kiyometo and there's the one with the eye. But you're right.
Second.
This is the Kameta who fought Picasso and lost the decision.
Okay, no. So I have my okay, cool.
Okay.
I was like, bro, I'm gonna look dumb as hell. No, I have my Kamitas right here.
Okay.
I have my Kamitas right here, man. Bro, I am never been high on Casimiro. Slows in pace. He throws single shots. He leaves his back against the ropes. As compared to Kamado that can go through some gears. High volume Japanese fighter too as well. Little bit of pop to a shot too as well. I have to go back and watch the Neri fight to see how that actually went too as well. I do want to go see how the Neri fight went. But man, give me Kamita. Give me Kamita all day at plus money. Man, Casimiro doesn't even seem like he takes fighting seriously anymore. Have you ever seen what Casimiro looks like nowadays? Have you seen him?
It's not what his box rec looks like. In his box rec, they have the young. Yeah, he puts a lot of weight on. Yeah.
Brother looks pregnant. Looks pregnant.
Puts a lot of weight on. Looks real old. So this is the interesting thing. Every time Casimiro fights, I have a Facebook group, and depending on, I think some countries have more accessibility to certain social media apps. And for some reason, my boxing group on Facebook, about 40,000 people, massive Filipino boxing fan base there. And every time, it's almost all year round, they talk about Casimiro. They think that Casimiro is like Pacquiao. And I mean, so sell me one more time on why strategically does Kamado win a points decision? Does Casimiro come in unprepared? Does he get stopped? What do you see here?
I want to see if we have odds on. Let me go see if we have odds on his stoppage because you don't have them on here.
I'll pull up bet. You do your work. I'm gonna pull up Bet365 to see if I can find him there. And
if Bet365 doesn't have it, no book will have it. I'm sure of that. If ESPN Bet doesn't have it because they don't, Bet365 doesn't, then no one will. So Kamita's gonna outvolume him. Kamita's gonna win the meaningful moments. Kamita's going to be, in my opinion, by far the heavier puncher. I don't let this box wreck fool me here. Kamita was landing nicely on Picasso, specifically here too, going tit for tat with Alan Picasso, who I rate. I rate Alan Picasso pretty freaking high too as well.
Picasso's a good fighter.
Cashmero's not living the life. He's probably sitting there smoking and drinking and gambling, just being, just being Cashmero. So, yeah, bro. I don't know how else besides the fact that he's going to out-volume. And what does Cashmero have? He throws single shots. And is he going to touch and drop Kimieta? I don't think so. Give me Kimieta as the live dog all day. All day.
Yeah, so live dog. I'm going to take the
DraftKings has it here. I want to see method of victory because I wouldn't play a method of victory unless it's something super juiced. Like if you got Kimieta plus 700 or higher by stoppage, I would play that. If it's not juiced higher than that, then I would just play the dog, and I wouldn't be, too upset about that. So, man, I like Kimieta, bro. I'm a fan of Kimieta.
Fun style. It's a fun style. He's definitely a live dog.
He's going to overwhelm him. That's the biggest thing. Cashmero is a single shot merchant, and now he's way more out of shape than we've ever seen him before. Come on, champ. He's going to leave all of his fight in the weight cut.
Yeah, let me pull that up.
Dude, you have to see how Cashmero looks lately, man. I got to find something for you. It's insane. It's insane.
I'm trying to pull up. Yeah, he's definitely not the guy in these photos. Because this is like maybe that one. Even worse. Even worse.
Bro, that's about right.
He just looks a bit swollen here.
Bro's not living the life. I'm trying to see if I can even see if he's tagged in anything on Instagram.
I got you. Yeah, well, I'm looking too. I don't
Bro, this is a photo from June 8th, right? This is a photo from June 8th. Come on.
Yeah.
Brother.
Okay.
A fan photo from June 8th.
You can just tell. I'm trying to find it on Google.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at him in this Spurs jersey looking plump as hell. Barely
he looks
a basketball. I'd steal that shit.
I broke down a video last year because I grew up playing. I still play ball. I grew up hooping since I was 6 years old. And I broke down a video of, you ever see Manny Pacquiao play ball? He's horrible. He has, they talk about, dude, he has the ugliest shot, technically. He shoots his like this. I'm like, this guy is garbage at basketball.
Man.
People hated that take. While I got you here, I want to talk about the UFC real quick.
Oh, yeah. Let's talk. Let me pull up that fight card myself, good sir.
I'm gonna bring on we got another one of the boys trying to come on. Luca.
Doncic? What?
Luca, you're on, brother. What's cracking? We'll see if his audio fixes. If not, we'll give him a couple minutes, see if he wants to shoot it. But I'm gonna bring up the odds of the UFC card coming up. And
I have a few dogs for the UFC. I'm excited for that one.
I was looking at the odds and I'm like, damn, there's a couple of these fights that I was probably going to message you about. Oh, is it Chris Barnett finally returning? The big fella. This is the big dude, right?
Mr. Spinning wheel kick.
Break your heel
kick.
Against John Vellante. Do you remember that strike he did against Vellante?
Dude. Gian Vellante, also one of the greatest UFC heavyweights of all time.
Oh my God. Dude, talk about a guy who just...
What's Luca's Discord name? I want to put faces.
Names. I don't know. Let me ask him. Let me see if he messages me. Luca, send me what's your let me see if I could private chat him. Studio chat for people. Yeah, I'm still learning how to navigate this. So what are the looks for the UFC?
All right, so dogs that I absolutely love here. I absolutely love Jung Young Park versus Gaspag Alaskarov. Now, there's a way you guys could play this fight. I think it's important to play this fight more so live than anything. You can get really good value on Jung Young Park right now. If I'm not mistaken, he's a 2-to-1 favorite or 2-1 underdog. He was over 3-1 in the earlier of the week. But Junghyun Park, man, I like his pace. I like his pressure. He's someone that likes to break you. He's tough as nails. Good anti-grappler, really good anti-grappler. Great hips too as well. I love Junghyun Park. And scroll down. What's Junghyun Park double chance, good sir? Scroll back up. Bang, right there.
Right.
Junghyun Park.
This is a whole new segment. You taught me about this last week. I didn't even know about the double chance, boy.
Yes, sir. So anytime that I'll put a play on the Discord that says ITD, this is what I mean. Inside the distance, double chance.
Okay.
I think Junghyun Park breaks him rounds 2 and 3. I think he finishes him in round 3. So what I like to play, and I'm taking Junghyun Park for a full unit. I'm taking Junghyun Park as an underdog, full unit. I'm putting a half unit on him by finish, and I'm putting probably a little bit less than half a unit on him in round 3, because 13-1s in round 3 versus Gasbag Alaskarov. Oh, man, I can see Alaskarov coming to try to take Park's head off in the first round. Round 2, he starts to break him down. Round 3 comes out with a desperation shot and gets beat pillar to post, finished in round 3. I love the Iron Turtle. I love Junghyun Park in this case. Give me him to beat the shit out of Alaskarov, finish him inside of the distance. Alaskarov is round 1 or bust. So if you plan on betting Alaskarov, you take Alaskarov round 1. That's it. That's how you play this fight.
Okay, what else on this card? I'm going to bring up the fights again.
And then you have here too as well. I also, one sec here. So I talked about this one here on the Discord a little bit earlier. It's the co-main event. Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Yeah. I like Verna Jandiroba.
Rematch, yeah. Right?
Yes, sir. Wait, is this scrap? When did they fight? How long ago did they fight?
Let me check. Jandiroba, Zern won. I want to say during the pandemic.
Oh, 2020. But, damn.
But don't quote me on it.
I don't think.
Yeah, 2020. They fought. Dern defeated Jandiroba via UD. I knew. December 2020.
Good memory, Johnny. Good memory, man.
I'm a nerd,
I didn't
dude.
even remember that one.
Yeah.
Fights all just bleed together for me sometimes. So, So I was talking to our boy Kiza here in the chat here a little bit earlier here, and we had a little bit of what you can call hearsay insider information that the boys at Megaton's gym specifically don't necessarily think that Mackenzie Dern may be training as hard as she should be for this fight. As compared to Verna Jandiroba, the one-eyed princess, we know she is going to be coming out here blitzing and doing her best work, no doubt about it here. Her anti-grappling her positive grappling against Yao Xiaonan, her anti-striking to her positive grappling against Yao Xiaonan was absolutely incredible. I love what Verna Jandiroba does here. Her Amanda Lemos win was absolutely something I rate very highly, even if it's an aging Amanda Lemos. As compared to Mackenzie Dern, doesn't have much process. Even her as a grappler, I don't know if she's a better grappler than Verna Jandiroba. She may spam certain types of submissions. She's definitely a better grappler from guard. I will say that. But Verna Jandiroba is either going to get to a back or get on top of you. Give me the dog in Verna Jandiroba all day. All day. And by the way, Verna Jandiroba by knockout at plus 2,500 is asinine. In a world of two grapplers where Mackenzie Dern most likely is not going to get submitted, you're telling me Mackenzie Dern won't get back flat mounted and beat up? What the fuck excuse my language, what the heck are we talking about? Do you see those odds?
Yeah, but bro, dude,
2,500.
Mackenzie Dern could take a goddamn beating, dude. We've seen Mackenzie Dern.
It would be in a back mount flat position or a full mount top position kind of beating. It wouldn't be a standing position.
You don't think she'd be able to get out of a full mount? I mean, Jandiroba's not that big. She's not that big.
I know she's not that big, but she has a mean ass body triangle and she has incredible top pressure. Her hits are great. Her hits are incredible.
I think Dern is safe anywhere on the ground. I think Dern, her striking is so awful looking, but she fights in the pocket like she could strike. It's so bizarre. So it's going to be interesting.
No process.
None, dude. It's all wide and loose and chin in the air. She's running at you. It's like it's hard. It's a weird style, and she does it all because she knows she could get away with it because of her jiu-jitsu. But Jandiroba, she's cleaner. She's just smaller. She's had some good wins too. I have her resume up right now. Zhao Yanan, Amanda Lemos, Lupita. She beat Angela Hill. Her only losses are Amanda Hebos, Dern, and Carlos Esparza. And she's the dog here. Wow, Jandaroba's the dog here. I like Jandaroba on the money line. Why
That's
not
what I'm
just
saying.
whenever
Well,
I'm
that's
getting
what I would play. So when I drop
Yeah.
these props, those are only something like that. I'm saying, like, when you see odds like that, it comes back to a numbers game for me. When I see odds like that, they just pop through the screen for me. And someone can only take such a damage so bad. And I'm just saying, I'm definitely sprinkling Jandaroba by knockout at those odds. It's insane. And I can come back and clip this shit if it happens, and we'd be like, yeah, like, you know. But
Yeah.
I low-key love Jandaroba on their money line. I don't know, man. I've just never been impressed by Mackenzie Dern. And now we have someone that can offensively grapple at the same pace and pressure, has better striking, better process, and can anti-grapple her. Where does Mackenzie Dern win this fight besides spammy shit? And I don't like betting on fighters that are going to win on a case of throwing up a spam triangle or a crazy knockout when they don't have knockout power. I just don't like it.
These odds are so disrespectful.
So disrespectful to Mario.
I don't give a shit
Arizona
what people.
boy. Fuck.
I don't give a shit what people say about Nurmagomedov. Dude, Mario Batista's a goddamn dog, dude.
Some of the best cardio in the fucking UFC too as well.
Dude, I've been watching Batista since jump, dude. This dude, it just keeps,
flying knees.
Yeah, I think these odds are crazy. I'm
a boy, bro. I've seen Mario Bautista fight live at Rough and Tough MMA on 47th Avenue in Indian School, dog. Like, and if you know about Arizona, Rough and Tough MMA on 47th Avenue in Indian School, dog. It just, this man.
The MMA lab. Dude, fucking.
They have two boys fighting on this card, Jose Delgado and Mario Bautista.
So in 2017, I interviewed on my 2 podcasts ago called Ungoogleable. I brought on Ricky Simone, and it was after Ricky Simone beat Renan Barao, and I'm like, this kid is a goddamn. And I rate Ricky Simone, man. People sleep on Ricky. Great tough grappler, wrestling. He could crack. Sometimes he kind of sells himself short with his fight IQ and decision making. But when I saw Batista handle Simone, I'm like, damn. People, and then I got Batista's record. Batista hasn't lost since, of all people, he got stopped against Trevin Jones, the kid from the kid from like the Bahamas, the striker.
5-star Jones, brother.
Yeah,
was it like a fluky flying knee he got stopped by?
It was, and then he lost to Corey Sandhagen by armbar like 8 years ago.
There's no shame in losing to Corey Sandhagen.
Not at all.
Absolutely no shame losing to Corey Sandhagen, man. Like,
dude, the Damon Blackshear victory people sleep on. He, the close decision against Aldo. He kind of, let everybody know about Patchy. I think Mario is a live dog here.
I agree. There's two things that are the issue here. Where is this fight taking place? Because Mario doesn't Mario doesn't have finishing equity on Nurmagomedov, unfortunately. So that's the one thing I have an issue with, bro. Like, I would love Mario Bautista to win this fight, but I agree. I think he is the more well-conditioned fighter. I don't necessarily know if he's the stronger fighter, but I think he is more of I think he's going to push a high pressure. But man, I really worry about that decision in Abu Dhabi.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Yeah, we saw some of the worst. Carlos Leal. I had a ticket on Carlos Leal at plus 250. And then I played him live twice. Got smoked on the worst robbery I've ever seen in Abu Dhabi. There are plenty of Abu Dhabi robberies.
Okay.
Was it Mohammed Naimov that shouldn't have beat? Was that in Abu Dhabi against Nathaniel Wood where, there was a bunch of glove grabs and stuff like that, but you could have even scored it for Nathaniel Wood if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably mixing up
Nathaniel Wood's on this card.
He fights Jose Delgado, actually.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Dude,
I think Jose Delgado is round 1 or bust. I think after round 1, I think Nathaniel Wood's a credible live bet. I think that's a great way to play that fight.
They got Nathaniel Wood as the dog here.
Yeah, Nathaniel Wood's good, man.
He is good.
He's good. It's just he's a tweener when it comes to weight classes.
Not a big guy. Yep.
The tweener, that's a big thing for people.
Yeah, this is interesting.
Nathaniel Wood, Delgado's going to push a high pace and pressure the first round. How does he look coming out of the first round? Both of these fighters. Does Wood look like he has a lot of fight left? And does Delgado look like he has a lot of gas left? To me, this is a great live bet spot. I don't know if I want to touch it pre-fight. Like, can you go check for him? What is Jose Delgado round 1 prop? Just for him to win in round 1, not by TKO, not by submission, just round 1. I'm just curious.
Okay. Jose Delgado, I got knockout or TKO round 1, 6-1.
Keep scrolling if you can for me, please. There should be, there it is, round betting right there. Jose Delgado, 350. Ugh. Oh, it's on the bottom of your screen, Johnny.
Oh,
right there. Like, that's disgusting, bro. Like that's how you know the books even think the same thing I do. Jose Delgado is round 1 or bust in this fight. They're only hanging plus 350 over your head for round 1. I wouldn't touch that with your bankroll. That is disgusting. So I would play this fight live. I think if it gets past round 1, I think Nathaniel Wood is very live. And PJ, to answer your question on what day these are, I think it's Saturday morning.
Yeah. So let's see what's the app say. So, boys, I gotta wrap this up. Nick, it's always a pleasure, brother. I'm glad that
you having me, mate.
I'm glad that you jumped on here. Hopefully, we'll be able to revisit this take, and we'll be able to get you some good clips. And you can always feel free to, if ever you want to clip the content when you come on, you don't have to ask. I'm not going to copyright you. Just take whatever you want.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, so guys, in Australia, the UFC, the main event is at 7:30 a.m. Sunday morning, so it's Saturday night for you boys in America. And from there, guys, stay tuned to the channel. I'm going to be ghosting. I'll see you in the next one. Nick, you be good, all right? All right, guys, I'm going to stay on just to wrap up with the boys. Ghetto Genius. Let's see what Ghetto Genius is talking about. That was Nick from Breaking Bad, man. He puts a lot of energy into this. His breakdowns are really good. I wish he would do more. Like he said, I think he's in grad school right now, so he has a lot on his plate. Breaking Bad Boxing on YouTube. The dude's a beast. Look, nobody's going to get it all right. Nobody's going to get 100% right. And guys like himself, guys like me, guys like Gary on 3D, we put ourselves out there. You know what I mean? A lot of the boys, you guys are in the Discord. I love when everybody wins and everybody posts their tickets. But most guys in this space are only going to talk about their wins. From this perspective, you guys get everything. So we're really putting ourselves out there. I'm as transparent as anyone you're ever going to meet on the screen and in real life. If ever we know each other in real life, this is who I am. And so if ever you took one of his picks or my picks and you didn't win, we're equally as upset. The last thing we ever want to do is give you bad advice. But the one thing that, nobody could ever say, no one gets 100% of these right. So, PJ, they're always in the Discord, big fella. Look, PJ, do you know how to navigate the Discord? Because some of the comments you make, I'm like, there's literally a UFC tab in the Discord. So I'll show you boys. So you guys get to see it behind the curtain. So PJ's in the Discord. Everybody on the chat that you see with the star of any color, those guys are Johnny Says insiders. To join, sign. The link is pinned here. It's a couple bucks a month. You get access to this amazing community. So we're getting close to about 250 of the boys in the Discord. PJ, the MMA is right here. And Breaking Bad, man, he pretty much runs the MMA channel in the Discord because a lot of his content is UFC driven. But to answer your question, PJ, I haven't given you a UFC, one of my parlays. Last week, we did one together and RDR screwed us. So Nick took RDR to beat Brendan Allen. I mean, on paper, it was a good pick. Brendan took that fight on short notice. RDR was the guy who was trending. And he faded late in the fight and he quit on a stool. But other than that, guys, join the Discord. We're about an hour and 20 minutes in. If you've been watching this since jump, I say thank you. Subscribe, like, come to the Discord. I'll see you in the next one.